Dr. Elisha, maybe you can start.
All right, okay. All right. Okay, yeah, it's 10 o'clock. The numbers are quite good already. All right. A good morning to everyone, and welcome to our series of talks for this year. And today we have a very special guest, Professor Dr. Normaliza Rahim from University Putra, Malaysia, UPM, just next door behind there. Prof. Normaliza is going to be sharing with us a two-part series of what I want to call some golden information on publication, on how we can publish our research work. All right. So at this moment, allow me to give you a brief introduction of Prof. Normaliza, our speaker for today. Prof. Dr. Normaliza Rahim is coming to speak to us today from the Faculty of Modern Languages and Communication in University Putra, Malaysia. And her expertise are in education, teaching and learning, TESOL, linguistics, discourse studies, media and communication, both in Malay and English languages. Prof has obtained a PhD degree from University of Nottingham in United Kingdom. Her focus was on discourse studies and media technology. She has got a very healthy profile, one which is very, very, very rich. She has been a visiting researcher to some very prestigious universities, University of Limerick in Ireland, University of Leicester in United Kingdom. And she has been a visiting professor to Hankook University of Foreign Studies in South Korea. Prof has got a very amazing publishing record where she has published 11 books. She has written over 150 journals, more than 31 chapters in books, 27 monographs and popular writings. She is accredited to 120 copyrights and 23 grants and an amazing 21 academic awards. So I can't wait to be to listen to Prof. Dr. Normaliza now, and I hope we are all going to benefit from her talk. Like I said, this is a two-part talk where she's going to give us part one today, and next week we will be listening to her again on the second part of this talk. This talk is particularly interesting because it is a talk which is going to benefit both the students and us, the lecturers, because when we are in our studies, the most important thing which can differentiate us from the others, which we can take from others, is our publications. It is very important for us to be able to publish so that we can make our mark in this academia and research world. Please allow me to welcome Prof. Dr. Normaliza to give us a talk for today. Prof, you may take over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Elisha. Assalamualaikum, a very good morning. Also to Prof. Dr. Maziha, Prof. Dr. Farida, Dr. Normaliza, especially the director, and also Dr. Suraya, I saw her just now, Dr. Siti Noralia, and other lecturers, and as well as students. Okay, I'll just start straight away. Okay, this is actually more towards coaching. I try to coach the simplest way writing journals, articles for journals. And okay, hold on. Let me share the screen first. Okay. Okay, the objective, I'll just start, okay, to explain definition of research articles, discuss components of research articles, to write a research article. Okay, what is a research article? Because this one is actually, I just don't want the students especially, and also the lecturers. For today's talk, I am focusing on the research article only. Okay, because maybe some of the series I can teach you how to write like a concept paper and so on. Okay, it's a report. Report the results of original research, assess contribution to the body of knowledge, published in peer-reviewed scholarly journals. Okay, this one I will discuss later. The difference between citation index journal and also non-citation index journal. Maybe I can stress this one out for the next series, because after you have written something, then we can target which journal we can submit. Okay, for research article, most common type of journal. This is actually most common type. If you check in the website especially, they are actually I think majority of the journals, they are focused on research article. Meaning to say that you have to come up with a research and then come up with the data from the research, and then you analyze and you publish it. As compared to the one that I mentioned just now about the concept paper. Concept paper is more towards you are reading so many articles, you are making comparison and similarities between the articles. That one is actually you are not going out to get the data. There's no field work. But this one, the research article, is whereby you have the data with you, and the data would be your novelty, the one that you collect the data, you analyze the data, you discuss about it, that would be your novelty. So that is why most journals in the website, especially, they are actually advised, or not to say advised, they are actually focused on research articles because they're actually evidence to have the data. If not, it's something like I mentioned just now, more towards concept paper. So there's no evidence there. You are just comparing between articles. And then, okay, this would be the component of the research articles that I'm going to focus. Okay, if you check this one, if you also, I think you have come across, I think most of the lecturers at IUKL, especially, they already publish a lot of articles online, especially. And then online, it's actually more on open access, or sometimes, especially journals, famous journals like Routledge and so on, you have to pay for it if you want to read the journal. They are actually for business purposes, but to publish that kind of articles in that journal, it will cost you maybe about $400 or $500. For me, my experience, I paid the most expensive would be about 2,000 ringgit, something more. And the list would be free. Most articles are going to be free, but nowadays there's no free article, nothing is free, right? Okay, the components of the research unit that we are going to focus would be all this for today. And then if you check on the internet, most of the articles, they have this. I have to highlight, okay. Oh, sorry, not this one. Okay, if you check, they advise the author to give, to submit, oh, sorry. Huh? No. Okay, if you check this one, if you check the articles online, most of the journals, they actually put title, abstract, introduction, methodology, results and discussion, conclusion and references. Okay, this one would be compulsory, but actually what they meant would be the literature review, for this one, you can have it as well in the article, but you can have it in terms of studies on something, or you can put the word literature review, and also the summary of results. Actually, they did not put it in the journal article, but you have to submit it. You have to put it, insert it, because afterwards, when I explain to you how about the summary of the results, then only you understand why you have another new subtopic for results and discussion. Actually, you can put it together, but to make sure that the journal accepts your paper for the publication, might as well make it another new subtopic. Okay, let's go to okay. Okay, this would be the article writing. I make it bigger. Okay, this is actually an example. When you write the topic, okay, the title of your article, make sure it has to be interesting, and also when you try to choose the title, you must make sure that the variable, or some other students or lecturers, they will say variable, both can be accepted. The variable, you must have variable. So let's say, for example, this one, what would be the variable? So the variable, variable will be important in your title. You know why? Because when the title is already published, other authors or other lecturers or students, they want to refer to your article, they will type the keyword. The keyword usually would be the variable from your article. So let's say this would be the variable, okay? And then another one, okay, folklore animation. Folklore would be one. Okay, for will be one, another one will be animation. So if I want to find for my literature review, I would type this word in Google. Okay, Google search, and then it will come up. The title will come up this way. Integration of value, or this one, it can be variable. Variable can be dependent or independent. But the main thing is that if your title is not catchy, they will not accept your paper for publication. So therefore, make sure that the title that you want to write reflect whatever in your data and also in your literature review, because this is very important. All right. So I'll give you one more example. Okay, let us check okay. Let's check number one. Vocabulary learning of here, there, and over there in social stories among primary school students. Okay, this one is actually my article. It's already been accepted, already been published in Citation Index Journal, in the Scopus Journal. Actually, this one, if you check, if in English vocabulary, we have over here, over there. But in Malay vocabulary, here, there, over there, there will be three different things that the students have to understand what's the meaning of each. So therefore, here, if you see, vocabulary learning would be one variable, all right? Social stories would be one. And then primary school students. So let's say now, my article is something like vocabulary learning. So I have to type in Google, and then it will come up with this one. Okay. So therefore, if you see, they have like three variables here, and then it will make it more interesting. Okay. If let's say this one, number 2, the usage of short story via phone application, enhancement and motivation among second language learners. Okay, this is actually my article as well, already been published in 2017. Okay, short story. Yep, that will be one. If let's say my article is something like short story, I want to refer to this article. Okay, phone application might be one. And then enhancement motivation. If you just highlight the motivation, yeah, it can be also one variable. Enhancement can be another one. Enhancement and motivation can be another one. Okay, and then another one will be second language learners. Second language learners. So there will be about more than 3 variables there. So that's why the journal accepted this paper. because it seems that it's going to be very interesting. And also bear in mind that some of us, we prefer to write, okay, let me check one more. Okay, here. Grumpy consumers, good citizens. See, very interesting. Exploring the relationship among internet use, online consumer behavior, and civic participation in China. Okay, there's a country here. So that would be another variable here. So let's say I want to write an article, I want to refer to, because China is a big country. So therefore, if you check, it's about, this is under business article, business journal, business journal. So this one already attract readers, So that's why I want to read this article, because of the first keyword, grumpy consumers, good citizens. So that's what I want to read. What is it about? So I want to know more. So exploring the relationship. Exploring the relationship, you know, it might be quantitative, because relationship definitely is quantitative. Among internet use, there will be one here. Online consumer behavior, yep, another one. And civic participation, another one. See how many variables are there in there? So that's why the style of writing your title, especially, it has to be catchy. It has to be interesting so that everybody wants to read. And an example for this one, when therapy goes public, okay, the first few weeks is already catchy. What therapy? We want to know what therapy is it? Why is it like you have to go for to public? Copyright gatekeepers and sharing therapeutic artifacts on social media. Even the title also very interesting. You really want to know what is it? What will be the therapeutic artifact on social media, especially? All we know all this while, having social media would be this one, A, for example. Social media is about writing, giving out your thoughts, giving out your misery or whatever in social media. But this one is about sharing therapeutic artifacts. So it's very interesting. You want to read. There's a lot of variables in there as well. So that's why it has to be catchy. For example, this one, revisiting cultivation as a gravitational process, a cross-national comparison of the cultivation of fear and mistrust. If you read this one, automatically you want to read the whole article. What is it about? Is it related to my study? Is it related to my article? Because my article maybe is on fear and mistrust. But this, although let's say, for example, my article that I want to find out is about fear and mistrust. So is it like related to my my study? See, it's like very interesting. For example, okay, another one, digital technologies and collective intelligence for healthcare ecosystem. Okay, let's say I'm writing on healthcare. Okay, I'm writing on healthcare, but my thought is like, okay, I just want to write a very simple title, healthcare among citizens in Malaysia, for example. But that is not really catchy. So you have to put like this one, all the digital technologies, collective intelligence, and then after that, optimizing Internet of Things adoption from pandemic management. See, the title will be the variable really enough for you to find out more about the article. Okay, unveiling frontliners employees brand control type. This one is actually more towards business. During corporate brand promise delivery, a multi-study analysis. You can put your colon or semicolon, whatever you have here in the title, so that you can split into two. But bear in mind, the title must be not more than 20 words. Not more than 20 words. So you can have it short, or you want to make it longer, but cannot be more than 20. You know why? If you put more than 20, nobody wants to read. Okay, frankly speaking, if you find articles from journals, if you can see so the title so long, you just don't want, you're not interested to look at it, right? Okay, now let's go back here. So you have done with the title, and then after that, straight away, this is actually giving your psychology impact. You know, when you write straight away, you know, you don't have the mood to write an article. You have been moody every day. Okay, no, and not every day. Yeah, every day throughout the year, and then suddenly, okay, let's get the motivation. So this is about psychology. You write your title. You say, okay, you want to write this article because I can see that we have problems among students, for example. Problems when I go to the supermarket, the front line, not the front liners, the ladies involved in giving out pamphlets, for example, they're really disturbing, for example. So you really want to find out, you really want to carry out research on that. So you just type first the title. Because your title might change. You might change like 20 times after you come up with your data. So what you can do to give you more motivation, more towards into writing, because like every day you've been staying at home, watch TV, Netflix, on all these Korean movies and Hindustan and whatnot, straight away write your name and then straight away your faculty and your email address. This will give you motivation, frankly speaking, and then you can dream about it, saying that okay, when I come out with this article, you feel like it's like a very big motivation for you. Okay, I will show you this one. All right. Sorry, because you didn't. Okay. This is actually my article. My article already been published in 2018 at Botanica. Botanica is, frankly speaking, although the journal is from my university, UPM, but it's so difficult for us to get in. Okay, this is actually the article that I'm talking about. You know, it's something like you will feel so proud to have your name on that article and be seen or being read by everyone all over the world. All right, but the problem with articles, this is citation index journal, CIJ. Because it has a scopus and above. Okay, but the problem is, if you look at it, if you read this article online, you will complain saying that why is Professor Normaliza's article, the references is like way 2000 something, it's not 5 years back. Okay, look here. Article history, they received. The article, the Botanica received on the 21st of December 2016. I submitted in December 2016. Accepted nearly 1 year later. It is also typical because I've been across all these kind of journals before. Sometimes I forgot that I already submitted to that journal. I totally forgotten. And then this is accepted, only accepted to 7 December, but it's published 2018. How many years? 2 years later. You just imagine 2 years later, then only it's published online. And then it's most of the references is nearly obsolete because you really cannot have like literature review like 10 years ago or 20 years ago. You cannot have that. Okay, this is, I just want to share with you that this would be the situation that you're going to face. All right, but the impact would be from this article. I will show you the impact for the next session, that it will carry, or it will give you the age index. Age index meaning that how many people from all over the world cite this article. Okay, for example, when you write article, you cite somebody's article. This is how. So that's why when somebody cite my article, my age index will increase. To get one age index, for example, when people cite me, people will cite me more than what, 20? Then only I get only one. Only 20 articles cite my article, I have only one age index. So at the moment, I have only 7. You just imagine how hard it is to get age index, especially for UPM. I think not only UPM, for all the universities in Malaysia or all over the world, they go for age index. So that's why whether they know you, how your paper very famous or you are very famous until all over the world wants to get your article. Okay, let's go back to this. Okay, now this is your motivation you have to write. Now, what do you write in your abstract? Hold on here. Okay, what do you write in your abstract? Usually the first 3 sentences. Okay, you write 1 until 3, and not 3, 1 sentence. First 3 sentences would be your introduction of the intro of the title. What is it about? Because some of us readers, we don't understand what you're talking about. For example, values. What is it? What would be values? What would be culture? What culture? Where is this? Because I did not write in Malaysia. I did not write what country. I did not write anything here. So, but some of us, we don't know what is Malay. Is it Malay from another country? It's not from Malaysia. So you have to be focused on it. So introduction, you have to explain about the title, intro of the title, and then also you have to write your problem, the problem, from just a very brief, because you're going to write in your problem statement in your article, but you have to write the problem. Why do you want to write this article? So the problem, maybe first 3 sentences or 4, not too long, because abstract usually they will only accept what, the 300 words, and so on. Okay, and then after that, so that meaning to say the first 3 sentences is all about the article. Okay, and then the next one, you straight away go on to the methodology. Okay, you have to explain about, no, before the methodology, sorry, it would be the objective of the study. Okay, you have to explain about the objective, because in the abstract, you have to explain first, again, about the problem, the introduction of the title, what do you, what study, what research are you going to carry, what talking about, and then the objective, and after that would be the methodology. Okay, methodology, and then the methodology, as usual, if you have your sample, you write your sample. How many samples do you have? The gender, the age, everything about the sample. And then after that, the location, if you have location. If you don't have location, you don't need to put. You have to mention. And then if you're like, because the thing is that if you're a country where everywhere in the world they know about this country, it's okay. But the problem is that I think most of us here, especially those already studied abroad, for example, Prof Maziha, and then a few other lecturers who study abroad, they know that when you see your friends, for example, when I studied in the UK, the student can say, where do you come from? Do you come from Philippines? Okay, suddenly I have to look myself in the mirror. Do I look Filipino? And then I have to explain, I'm from Malaysia. That is the problem. The thing is that I'm from Malaysia. That's why it's related here. I'm from Malaysia. And then they ask again, where is Malaysia? So I have to explain. Do you know Thailand? They know Thailand, especially. Do you know Singapore? They know Singapore. How come you don't know Malaysia? So I dare not ask them that question. But I straight away, yeah, it's like between Thailand and Singapore. Oh yeah, then only they realize. That's the problem with our article, whereby when we explain about location, you have to explain it really, everything. You have to explain everything. If let's say I want to say a primary school in Kajang, Selangor, but I have to state Malaysia as well, because this article will be read from all these students or lecturers from all over the world. So they have to know where is Malaysia. If you only put Selangor there without the Malaysia, then they don't know what is this article. Where is it from? Same goes to the other countries. All these countries, for example, if you want to write in USA, for example, it has to be focused. Which country, which state in the USA you have your location is. So make sure you write your location. And after that, you have to write your instrument, whether you have your instrument, all this in your abstract, what instrument you're going to use, and then what will be your material. Do you have material or you use instrument? Instrument will be your, are you using questionnaire? Are you using observation or interview or whatnot? And material, are you using novel, short stories, or anything per se? And also, besides that, you have to explain about the procedure as well. What procedure? How do you carry out the data? How do you collect the data? And then after that, after the procedure, you have to also mention about the theory that you use. Are you using any theory? If not, you have to mention it there. Okay, which theory do you use? If you do a quantitative survey, for example, you don't need to use the theory. So meaning to say, you have to mention about you are using quantitative. You have to mention about quantitative or qualitative. You mention in the methodology. Okay, and then after that, you also must mention the results. The results of the study straight away, in short. So meaning to say, if you have 2 objectives in your article, you mention in 2 lines, it's fine. Sometimes 2 sentences, sometimes you have 3 or 4. But remember, bear in mind, most journals, you only must have 300 words only. You just imagine you have to cram everything in for 300 words. You just imagine how. So that's why it has to be brief, but everything should be there. Okay? So enough with the abstract. And also, but before that, you must insert the keyword. You put 5 keywords here. Keywords very important. You know why? Because like I said just now, like if you're writing a journal, an article for the journal, you want to find the variable. So that's what you will have to type. You have to type in Google so that you will come up this article. The variable would be something related. If let's say, oh sorry. All right, here, 5. If let's say, what will be the variable for this one? Okay, I can put values. Okay, I can put culture. Okay, I can put folklore. I can put maybe another one if I want to have focus on Malay folklore, but then you can put folklore as well because only folklore or Malay folklore, and then also animation. And also you have like I only have 4 keywords. Okay, why not I put integration? Because maybe I can find articles more on towards integration. Okay, I have 5 keywords there. Some students, okay, especially my students, they don't know how to write keywords. You just imagine how. And then because the keywords will be, and then I told them the keywords will be, is very important for other researchers to find your article. So therefore, you have to make sure that the keywords that you have written reflect the title and also the content of your article. Sorry. Okay, so that goes with the abstract, only 300 words. And then straight away, like I said just now, it's something like to give you motivation, start with this. Okay, start with the title, put your name there. It's very important to put your name, although you haven't started yet. Put your name, that will be like psychologically giving you motivation. And then after that, write the abstract because you know what you're doing. Okay, you know what research you're going to carry out. Especially students at IUKL, you know that you're supposed to write an article based on your thesis. So make sure, but bear in mind, do not copy paste from your thesis because when you go for Trinity, the plagiarism is going to be increased. So you make sure that you rephrase your sentence and also the data, not exactly from there. So that's why I usually advise students to get extra data so that the extra data can be used for your article. But actually the content is actually similar and nearly the same as your thesis. Okay, let's go for introduction. Most of the, like I said just now, most journals, okay, they don't have this subtopic. Literature review, they don't have it. They straight away put introduction. And then reason being because they don't want you to put like, not some of them they put like 5 paragraphs of introduction. It's actually wrong. So you put literature review. So this one for introduction, you actually 1 or 2 paragraphs. Okay, what do you put in here? So with here would be the first paragraph. Why I put okay 1 or 2. Okay. Hold on. This is not my laptop, so it's a bit difficult to. Okay. Sorry. All right. So first paragraph. Okay, what do you put in your first paragraph? You can put your overview. You are telling overview. What is this research about? What is this article about? Because you have to give ideas to us, readers. What is it about? Because we don't want to, actually, frankly speaking, as researchers, we don't want to think a lot. So might as well find an article which is really straightforward. So give the overview of this article. So and after you've given the overview of this article, you actually insert the research problem. Actually. And then the second paragraph, you can talk about the RP, research problem. Okay, the research problem here, the overview. Okay, if you feel that you only want to write the first paragraph as overview, or what we call it as background of research. Okay, so this one, the references can be more than 5 years back, because it's something like history. So you can refer to like in because it's like history. If history maybe what 1990s, or it can be 1974 or 19 whatever. It can be because it's like a background of the study. You're going to give the overview about the research, and then this one, the second paragraph would be more towards why do you want to carry out the data. You come up with the research problem. The research problem must be 5 years back. Okay, so if this is 2020, 2021, and then your last reference will be 2017, because we have so many millions and millions of articles. So you cannot say, okay, especially students, you cannot say that there are no articles published, there are no research done with this, blah, blah, blah. No, you cannot say that. There will definitely be, but maybe there's gap in that research. Maybe nearly similar. So that's why all the research paper that you refer, there will be gap, because that gap is for you to fill in. So that's why you put it in your second paragraph. That will be the research problem. Okay, the second paragraph. And then when you have like when you already explained, then most of us, the readers, especially for me, I'm actually the editors, both of the editors for a few journals, international journals, and also I review a lot of articles, international articles. Not only in language communication, it's also based more towards social science. Okay, and also if you're done with this, and then you go for literature review. When literature review, some of us, we want to have this topic, literature review, but you can also write you can also write subtopic with studies on values and culture. And then another subtopic will be studies on, I want to focus, because these two would be my my variable. So studies on value, studies on Malay, folklore, animation. So I have two subtopics, or it can be both. You can have only literature review, but you explain everything in the topic. But if you want to focus, you can have two subtopics like this. So if you have these two, you don't need to put literature review here. So meaning to say, this is actually more focused. If you put it this way, more focused, I'm sure the journal will accept your paper for publication. Okay, so now let's say, how do you want to write your literature review? This one is actually been explained, or been, how to say, Dr. Siti Nolia has already done this in her talk. Okay, studies on values and culture, for example. How do you write literature review? Okay, how many? Sometimes, how many do you have to put? How many references do you have to put in literature review? Okay, sometimes there will be questions that you're going to ask yourself. But bear in mind, in your literature review, must, okay, references only 5 years back. And the latest would be like, for example, now is 2021, you must have three articles. references. Okay. So meaning to say your article actually really very updated. Okay, and also because you refer to articles that will be from 5 years back, and in your literature review you also refer to articles this year 2021, and frankly speaking, definitely your article will be accepted because they know that your article is really updated. Like I mentioned just now, the article that I showed it to you, my article being published, that one cannot be helped. You know why? Because most journals, I think majority of citation index journals, especially, they will take like more than 1 year to publish the journal. It's because I think most of us lecturers in this session, you have come across, you've been reviewing like a lot of articles. They will email you the article, and then you will take your time, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to review, because you feel that you have other works to do, and then you email them back. It will take like 1 or 2 months. And then some of it, frankly speaking, like me, I tell you the truth, that I received like a few articles in January from international journals for me to review. I just ignore. You know why? Because I feel that the articles that they submitted to me for is not my expertise. It's something to do with, I forgot, one is something to do with, I forgot what is it, because I only read the article and then after that I rejected. So when I rejected, they have to send to someone else. So that's why it's going to take like more than 1 year to have one very good article to be published. Okay, and then what are you going to write here? You make sure that you put like, for example, okay, I want 8 articles here. I want 8 articles here. Reference. Okay, tell yourself, okay, 8 articles here, 8 articles there. And then try to find, make sure you have this one, 2021, and then you just like write your literature review, and make sure that it has to be critical as well. Although it's only an article, because in your thesis you also must write your chapter 2 literature review to be critical. What is critical? Critical is having you have to compare between articles, the similarities and also the differences between articles. That would be being critical. Okay, I will show you how you write an article where you can see obviously that you are okay. You have to include this word. This is examples. There are a lot others. Okay, parallel, meaning to say you can write, for example, the result. Oh, look at that. Sorry. Okay, you explain about one article. The article you have chosen. Explain about it. Usually the explanation would be the research problem of that article. Why is this? RP of the article, and then the methodology. You have to explain a little bit about it, and then maybe the theories and the methodology, and also the results of this particular article. And then after that, you relate to another article. When you relate article, you can write the results of the study by are parallel to the study of where the students, this is an example, happy or content with the learning environment. Okay, when you want to compare the result of study by Normaliza are parallel, because before this sentence, before you want to write the critical sentence, you have to explain all this from that article. That's why you have to read and understand about the article. You have to read, understand what will be the result, what will be the methodology, everything. Because this article is like, it's little bit related to your article, but there's a gap in it. So you explain about this, and then when suddenly you read, you already read this article by Ahmad Abdullah, and you found that this Ahmad Abdullah's article is actually nearly the same, parallel to the study of this. Okay, so therefore you have to write this way in such a way that you are actually comparing between the two articles. Comparing. Parallel meaning there's a little bit of similarity in terms of this. Because when you explain about the result of this article, maybe the result is something to do with learning environment. Okay, so when you compare this article with that article, you are actually where the students are content with the learning environment. You are already explained about something nearly the same as this. Not exactly. If exactly, it's like plagiarism, meaning to say that this article and this article is copying each other. So you cannot have that one. So you have to explain why is it similar? If you feel, because you have to use all these words. If you feel that no, it's different, you change. Different. You change. Because this is the negative one, this is the positive one. Okay, you change. Different to the study in what way? Different in what way? Where the students are content with the learning environment. And then you can use all these words. And also make sure that you have all these words, it has to be included in the literature review so that it's going to be critical. Remember, like I said just now, it has to be, you are actually finding the similarities, maybe based on the results, and you are actually having the comparison, you compare between the two articles in such a way that, but what? You have to explain what is it? What will be the similarities? What will be the difference? And then you explain. And then suddenly after this, I want to explain more about Ahmad Ahmad Abdullah stated that, and then you want to explain more about Ahmad Abdullah because just now you already compile with him. And then he's, because the study is parallel or different in terms of this, in terms of students are content with the learning environment. And then you want to explain more whatever Ahmad Abdullah is mentioning. So Ahmad Abdullah stated that the students, blah, 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 blah. Hold on, I have to switch on. The battery is like, hold on, I need to check the battery. Yeah. My assistant is like eating nasi goreng in the morning, and she ignored me. Yeah, leaving me starved to death. Okay. All right. Let me share again. Oh, I forgot what am I supposed to share this now. This one. Okay. Okay, just now, I don't know what I'm, okay. And then after that, you talk about Abdullah, and then you elaborate more about his study. Stated that the students are having problems with whatever. Okay. Also, the students, you want to explain more about Abdullah's study. That's why you are actually comparing. Can I continue? Can I continue?
Excuse me, please mute your mic.
The coordinator for this one, can you help to, okay, we're done. Okay, so remember, so therefore, if you look here, actually these words is very important. These words, make sure for students and for lecturers or whatnot, make sure type this word and stick it on the wall at your house. Stick it on the wall so that you remember which word you're going to use to have it to compare. Because frankly speaking, for students, especially if you're doing a master's or PhD, it's really important to have this in your chapter 2 literature review. It has, because the chapter 2, it has to be critical. You are comparing, remember, compare in terms of the similarities and also the differences. So you're right. So therefore, if you look here, we go back here. Here, just now I said you have 8 articles. So these 8 articles, you actually compare with each other. Compare. Because when you choose these articles, you know that these articles actually related to your study. So that's why you choose this article, related. And then you just compare with each other. So how many paragraphs here do you have to write? Okay, so here you can write about, not too many, because we in research article, we are actually focused on your findings, your data, your conclusion based on the data. So this one, the literature review, is actually focused on how you compare with each study, and also you are actually trying to find the gap. Okay, even here the literature review, you also actually mentioning about the gap, research gap. Okay, actually whatever I explained in this literature review is actually related to students masters and PhD as well. So try to do it, because here when you talk about all these 8 articles here, 8 articles here, you are actually, like I mentioned just now, you found all the articles related to your studies. And also when you read your articles, you know there's a gap in each article that's related to your study. So that's why you also have to mention, when you have to mention the gap in the articles. Okay, because just now we say I mentioned about the try to find the similarities and also the differences between the articles. It's actually, when you mention it already, at the end of the paragraph, maybe you can write the gap, what will be related to your study. So how many paragraphs would be here? Okay, for me it's something like not actually, do not write too short paragraph. If you write too short, it's going to be like it's not enough. It's not enough. So it has to be compact. Example, 1 paragraph. Actually, for me as a reviewer, international reviewer, in 1 paragraph, maybe I can find about what 4 until 6 references. Okay, in 1 paragraph. So if you have 2 paragraphs, you have a lot. So it's actually you are referring. It's sometimes you feel that, okay, when you already written 1 paragraph, make sure it's long, maybe write what, maybe what, single spacing about 19 to 20 sentences, lines, something like that. Okay, and then this one is supporting each other. So you're comparing, similarities, comparing with each other. And then the second paragraph, same as well. You are another paragraph. You are actually, maybe the names already here, you can put here as well, because you are supporting. You are actually having the similarities, the comparison between the two. So it's going to be the same, but the content is different. The critical would be different. So that critical part would be maybe, okay, will be the research gap related to your study. Same goes with this. Okay, same goes with this one, whereby you have another 2 paragraph. Okay, another 2 paragraph with altogether you have 16 articles for references. See, 16, 16 articles. And here also you have references. Remember just now in the introduction? Okay, just to bear in mind, here when you write the research article here, you shouldn't write, because this is actually, remember, like I said just now, again, I've been telling you so many times because I want you to remember. Literature review is all about comparing literature. That meaning to say studies done. It's not about history. It's not about. It's really different than this. Definitely different. Okay. If you look at your thesis, for example, in introduction, you are writing about the background of the study. Background is usually you are going to give the overview of what the research is about. So usually you're going to write the history of education in China, history of education in Nigeria. So you're going to write history because you're going to give us, the readers, examiners, for example, to have the idea, oh, the education system there is like this. Okay, the English education system is like A, B, C, D. So you are giving us ideas. So that's why it's more toward history. Okay, so therefore do not confuse with this and this. When you write your research problem here, it's all about the results of the study. You cannot explain on the methodology. Remember that. If you explain on the methodology, it goes here. Literature review. So the research problem will be, what would be the problem? Okay, for example, I give example. Education system in Mauritius, for example, you already given the background. Okay, from 1970s, English will be blah, 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 and until today. That will be the history from the first introduced English system until today. That will be the background of the study. And then suddenly you want to write the second paragraph for the research problem. You are going to write about the results for each semester because it seems like it's been declining. It goes down, decreasing. It seems that a student from now is 2021, 2019, the results would be 50% of the students pass. And suddenly 2020, only 45% student pass English. And that's why that will be the research problem. Because you want to find out why. What's the problem of this education system? The students don't understand. Is it because of the lecturers, the teachers, the student themselves, or about the syllabus, or what? That's why you put it here. All right. This is all about the RP. And then when, so it's different than the literature review. Okay, different. All right. And then make sure you have to write the gap. Don't forget, what would be the gap about all this research compared to yours? Because you can actually frankly speaking, all articles that you refer, definitely there will be gap. In fact, if I publish my article, for example, when I publish, I know there's no gap because I publish my article. But somebody else going to read my article, definitely they're going to find a gap because their article, they want to write something else related to mine, but a little bit different. So that's why definitely there will be gap. Okay, I hope you understand that. And then we have objective. Okay, for this objective, actually, I put it here, but you cannot write a subtopic like objective. No, do not write a subtopic like that. It has to be, a sentence, one sentence only. Or if you want to write two, it's fine. But my advice, just write one sentence. So you can write based on the research problem and literature review above. Therefore, oops, where is it? Okay, here. Okay, therefore, this study is to what? That will be objective. Also, again, my advice to you, do not write like, actually it's minimum 2 objectives, but don't write like 4 or 5 or 6, or don't write like 3. No, you can have 3 objectives, but the problem is how many words you're going to write. Because usually journals, most journals, they will put the minimum and the maximum. Minimum number of words, 5,000 words. Maximum would be, they only accept maybe 7. If more, you have to pay $100 per page. So you don't need to do that. Make sure it's fixed. So my advice to you for this one, just give two objectives. Enough. Okay. For how do you write objective? It's like one sentence only, and the objective should be based. Look at your title again. Okay. How do you write objective? Hold on. This one. Okay. Ooh, there's a lot here. Never mind, I will give you this one. Because usually I advise my students and my friends, type this one, print it, laminate, stick it on the wall near your office or at home, because you will need it. Okay, in objective, you have to use action verb. Okay, please write with action verb. And also, objective for articles, it should be easy. Because remember, not everyone is at the same par as you. Because you are writing based on your expertise. You are already expert, that's why you want to write a paper. Okay, an article, especially for students. If this is your first time maybe, or this is your second time writing an article. So make sure it's simple. So how to write? Like I said just now, okay, I give you the minimum number of objectives, you choose two. So the first one, because this is step by step, usually this is actually from Bloom taxonomy. The first objective should be very simple. Okay, same goes with your thesis, very simple. Okay, let's see, I want to identify. Oh, sorry, wrong spelling, sorry. I want to identify. Of course, you want to identify because usually a research paper you want to identify, or you want to let me see, let's check. You want to match? No. Recognize? It's too simple. And then you say, categorize. Oh, I want to categorize. Yes, it can be objective one. Categorize. It can put, I want to categorize. And then the second objective should be harder. So you choose over here. Try not to choose from here anymore. Okay? Same goes with your thesis for students. Make sure don't use like all for understanding only, all for remembering only, all for this one. It has to be a step up. Okay, increase. Right. This one, and then the next one will be here. Maybe the next one will be here, and then the next to evaluating or maybe creating. If you don't want any creation, go back. So maybe two objectives if you have so many objectives. But for article, you have to. Let's say I want to identify. The next one, I say I want to analyze. Fine. Because I take from the first column, remembering, and then analyze from the fourth column, analyzing. And also you can have like to contrast, to compare, to combine, to differentiate. It's fine. Okay, so use this for your objective of the study. It's very, very easy, because if sometimes we don't really sure that, okay, my objective is what level? Is it like the first level, remembering, and the second objective, is it the second or the third or the fourth? So you don't know, refer to this table. Okay, print, stick it on the wall, but make sure laminate first. Okay, and then, so you have to use all the, find the action verb that describe for your data. How do you want to carry, okay, sorry. Okay. So just now I said to identify and straight away discuss. Okay, hold on. Go back to the topic. Copy paste. That's what your objective. You must put the title as well, because if you put something else to identify and discuss, and then you put like not related with your topic, so it will be rejected. Okay, it will be rejected because it's not related. It's not related at all with your study. So this will be my objective. Only one sentence based on the research problem and literature review above. Therefore, this study, maybe your research problem only one, if two, you put problem. Therefore, this study is to identify and discuss integration of values and culture in Malay folklore animation. So straight to the point. Okay, that's it. Reviewer like me, I will say, oh, that will be the objective. Fine. is very fine. And remember, there's no subtopic as like you have to write the word objective, no need. This is a new paragraph. Okay, this is one new paragraph. Okay. That will be after literature review, before methodology. So no subtopic. Straight away, they know that this is actually for your objective. And then we go to methodology. Okay. After I explain everything, the whole thing, then only I give you a question and answer. You can ask me later. Okay, methodology. What can you put in your methodology? Remember just now when I mentioned about the abstract, that's what you put here, but in detail. In the abstract, it's really, really brief because you have to, your number of words is very limited. You have 300 words. But in methodology, you must express, you must explain in detail. If you have the sample, you explain about the sample. You have location, you mention about location in detail. And then if you have instrument, you have to mention about the instrument that you use, how many questionnaire, how many items in your questionnaire, how many sections. And then if you have like interview, how do you carry out the interview? How many questions will be the interview? And then if you have like, if you don't have any material, you only have like material, for example, your study is on like social media. You don't need any instrument. You only take from the material, the social media is fine. You delete the instrument, you use only material, but you have to explain. Okay, this one I have to mention it to you that if your material is about Twitter, for example, Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. Okay, let's focus on Instagram. Okay, when you carry out the research, you understand what Instagram is, but bear in mind, the reviewer might not know that Instagram exists. They don't know what, they don't even know what is Instagram. They don't even know what that is. So you have to mention it, explain it very, very detailed. For example, in China, they have their own, they have their own Instagram, for example, TikTok, for example. TikTok is from China, right? Okay, and then you have to explain what is it, because the thing is, for me, I don't know what TikTok is. Example, I'm a reviewer, so I will reject your paper because you don't explain that material in detail. I don't understand what is this. You don't even explain what TikTok, what is it for, what will be the characteristic, what will be the function. You don't explain it to me. So that's why I will reject your paper because it's not being explained thoroughly. All right, and then you already explained because this one explained about related to your study. And after that, you explain, oh, sorry, about the procedure. Sorry. Oh, what's wrong with you? Okay, procedure. You have to explain how do you carry the, how do you do it? First, let's say let's say for example you call up like 20 students, pick a random. You mentioned you have to pick a random, for example, and then you distribute the questionnaire, and then after that you collect all the questionnaire. Before that you explain blah 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 blah. And then if like for you 20 minutes per student, that one you explain there, 20 minutes per student. And then, or you say that I interview the students in pairs, okay, in pairs, while they were like chit-chatting by using TikTok, for example. So you are explaining everything. So that, remember again, I have to remind you again and again. Remember that the reviewer for the article, we don't understand what you're doing. We don't understand what is the material that you use. So you have to explain to us. Okay, this same goes with your methodology in your thesis. You have to explain in detail. And after that, after the procedure, and then you have to explain, what is this? How you analyze the data. How? How do you analyze the data? Are you using like a coding system for your, let's say, for example, you're interviewing your students. Okay, the interview session, the dialogue that you have with the student, you already transcribe everything. After the transcription, you put like the coding system for all the transcription. Explain it there. How? And for example, you say that I'm using subject S1, dialogue 1 in your analysis. So you have to explain what is S1, that D1. So explain S1, and then you explain subject 1. in sentences. D1 is what? Because this one, S1, D1 is actually you are using in analyzing your data. But you explain to us as reviewer that each of the coding system, what is it stand for? So you have to explain it really in detail. And then after that, after you analysis, you put what be the theory that you use. This is actually for qualitative study. What theory do you use? Okay, you have to put some of the articles that I've read, they put the really the framework of the study. Okay, I'll show you, for example. Okay, for example, this is actually my theory. It's already been published in a book, published by UPM, Discourse Analysis Theory. I think Dr. Suraya has used this theory before. Okay, it has this theory, for example, but remember again that you have to explain. You put the framework there, copy paste this framework, put in your theory, the discussion, and then after that you explain down here. Explain about this theory. What is content? What is context? What is assumption? And each one of it, because you are using this theory for your analysis. So that's why you have to explain about this theory. When is it introduced? 2019. Why is it referring to other theories before? So you have to read from that theory. Not only you are only referring to this, you are referring to other theories that related to this theory. You can say it. If not, you can just explain about this theory because this theory is already documented. So you explain about this theory. Okay, and then you already explained in the theory. Hopefully you're not asleep yet. All right, and then after you explain about theory, so this is all actually from methodology. If let's say you have like you are actually analyzing your data is about novel or short stories or report. So you cannot put everything. You cannot put all the report there. The report is actually what, 50 pages, and the novel is what, 400 pages. You cannot put everything in there. So what you can do here under the material, first you explain about the novel, and then you explain the summary of the novel, for example. So you put down there summary about one paragraph about that novel. Because we as reviewers, we want to understand, you were mentioning about you want to analyze about novel A, for example, novel entitled Sweet Dream, A Sweet Home. And then I have to write the summary of the novel there in such a way so that as a reviewer, I read, oh, this novel, and then I have to find out because being a reviewer, I have to find out what is this actually this novel is about. Because we don't want like false data will be included in that particular journal. All right, put the summary there. Okay. And then after the theory, done with the methodology. All right, finish with the methodology. And then they here. Okay, how do you write results and discussion? Okay, before that, maybe some of you want to ask me, how many paragraphs do you need to write for methodology, Prof? Okay, for me, this one methodology, you can write 1 paragraph or 2. Do not write more. You know why? Because some articles I know I've seen like what? They have written like 4 to 5 paragraphs. And then you just imagine 1 paragraph with only 3 sentences. Definitely I will reject. Why do you want to write like 3 sentences for 1 paragraph? Too short. And also it's not everything in there. So you make sure that you write. You want to write methodology 2 paragraphs, fine. You want to write like this one 1 paragraph, and the theory 1 paragraph, fine. Because the theory you want to include with the framework. If you don't want to include the framework, also fine. It's okay. But not more than, put here, no more than 2 paragraphs. So 1 should be fine as well because it should be brief. Remember the number of words that it has to be limited. Okay, now the results of discussion. Remember just now, remember you are using this theory. Okay, let's say just now, discourse analysis theory by Normaliza, Rahim, 2019. And then identify, and discuss. Remember this. So your subtopic would be, okay, the subtopic for this one is content. Remember the theory just now? Wait. I'll just copy paste the theory here. Afterwards, I will delete the theory so that it's easier for you to understand. This one is only like an example. Example for you to analyze qualitative by using theory, or else you're gonna be like confused. Okay, I give you example. This one I will delete later. I just want to show it to you. Okay, remember here the word content here. Remember also your objective, identify. Yeah, all right. So your content, and let's say your content first. Your content in copy paste the sentence. Write your subtopic based on your title just now, and based on your objective, definitely. All right. So now let's say this is your subtopic. Don't make it bold, because the reviewer might be confused with is this a new subtopic for the subtopic? Is this a subtopic or subtopic or subtopic? So which one? So that's why you just put it in italic in such a way that we know that this subtopic will represent the this identify thing. Because your objective, you have two. One is identify, one is discuss. So you already identify now, content. The next one you want to identify would be because it's actually based on your, wait, hold on. Let me write down all. This would be all your subtopic. Look, I am using this theory. So when you want to analyze, especially qualitative study, qualitative, I'm not talking about the quantitative, maybe some other session. This one is actually based on this theory. So this will be the subtopic. Just now is to identify. You already identified the content, and then the context and the assumption. So here, all right, here you're gonna insert the table. All right, insert the table that you found. I give you example, okay? S1, dialogue 1, dialogue 1, and then this one you already got your data. S2, dialogue 7, because you already code everything, and then you copy paste here. How are you? I am happy because my family is here with me. I love them all. And then suddenly here the dialogue would be blah 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 blah. And then this is content. The content is actually theme. So if you look at this sentence, actually in this sentence you got it from the dialogue. What theme can you find from there? It's about love. The theme will be love. So table 1, family theme. Family, or is it what? What is it about? Family or love? It's up to you, because you are the one going to collect the data. You got to find out which one is the theme. Because in a dialogue, for example, a long dialogue between your respondent, your subject, you can find maybe like so many themes. That's why you have to take it out. Which evidence shows about the theme. Take it out, put it there. But before that, remember I said, you have to put the coding in such a way that this coding is actually you copy paste from the data you got. Put it here. And then after that, you explain. Table 1 above shows shows what? The family theme among subjects, and then you explain.
Bonding? What about bonding? Family bonding.
Yes, bonding. Yep, bonding, love, family. Yes, because you know, in a sentence also you can have the how they say it, you can have the theme straight away. So there's so many things you can find there. So a table. So you name the table. It's up to you. You name the table because just now you want to integrate the is content in the integration of values. So the content according to the theory is theme. So the theme is like just now love, family, bonding. So you explain. When you want to explain, you have to explain one by one. So you put S1, D1. Remember just now here, stated, open, copy paste, close, and then you explain some more. Okay, in when you analyze the data, okay, remember just now, objective is identify. You already identify. There are three things here. Identify. You already identify the evidence here. One is identify and then discuss. Analyze. Sorry. Your objective is blah blah blah. Identify and discuss or analyze. It's up to you. So and then. So you already identify the evidence. You already identify everything. Now you are discussing. All right, they are discussing the second objective. Discussing. All right, done with the discussing. So, oops. Remember this. First, you are actually get the data. Okay, the evidence here. Evidence. And then after that, you you already identify the data or you get the data. Sorry. All right. First, you identify and then you discuss, meaning you interpret the data. And then your opinion. Okay. There are three things that you have to write in your analysis. Okay. First, this is only for one subject. I'm giving you an example. How do you? This is why you can accept this paper. You for S1D1. Okay, you already identify. You already put the evidence there. You already identify that the theme is like love, family, and also bonding. And then you discuss. You discuss whereby you put the evidence back in. All right, you put the evidence back in, and then you discuss about the meaning of discuss or interpreting the data. Would be you have to explain. Remember, we reviewer or we as readers, we don't know how you carry out the data. So therefore, we cannot imagine the students, how do they look like? Are they like scratching their head while talking? Are they like whispering to their friends while talking? All we know would be these sentences. So we don't know the situation really. So therefore, you have to interpret the data. So interpret is like, for example, how are you? You're going to say, subject 1, ask the question to subject 5, for example, subject 2, how are you? Because it seemed that subject 2 is like looking not feeling well, for example. And then I'm happy because my family is here with you. And then you have to explain what this subject 1 meant with this sentence. Is it because they just went for holiday, or is it because she just met with the parents because the parents have been like overseas for 5 months? And then I love them all. Why this sentence? You are discussing or interpreting the data. Okay, make it long, like 3 to 4 sentences interpreting this sentence. And then, what would be your opinion based on the interpretation? So you are actually giving your opinion. When you give your opinion, you must include the word might. because you are really not sure whether it's true or false. It might be because, or you can might be, or it can, what would be like, you are really, you know it's there, but you're really not sure it's there. So but it might be because subject one has not been with the family because she was at the boarding school for 3 years. Okay, not 3 years, for 6 months, and due to COVID, she was not able to come home. Because the thing is that, remember, you are the one who know the student well. You are the one like face to face with the students. You are the one know about the background of the student. That's why you were able to interpret the data. But you'll be able to give your opinion about this. So therefore, for one data, for one subject, okay, for one evidence, it's going to be long. It's going to be long. It's about what? Maybe 8 to 9 sentences. And then in one table, all right, one table, you can put 5 data. The evidence for content, evidence for this. Because we want to make sure that the evidence really reflect the evidence here, reflect here, the theory that you're going to use. Okay, so that's why. All right, and then remember all these 3 words, these 3 things that you have to do when you interpret the data, when you have the evidence and whatnot. Also here, the table do not have any vertical line, so you have to delete the vertical line. I think you know this by now, because for where is this? Okay. And also you can have this one. It's easier. All right, and then you interpret. If now, since you have 5 respondents here, 5 subjects here, some of us might ask, how many paragraphs, Prof, do I need to write? So it depends. Maybe you have one paragraph with only 2 evidence, another one with 2, another one with 1. It's up to you. It's up to you. And then also bear in mind, you can also compare. Because since you already have the evidence here, you want to compare this evidence with this evidence when you explain this one. And then you can say S1D1 and S2D7 seemed to have similar theme. You can have similar theme due to blah 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 blah. Give your reason. Give your reason. Give the reason will be more towards your opinion. Okay. I hope you understand this one. Why is this your internet connection unstable? I hope you're still there with me. All right, and then same goes with the next one, subtopic. The next one, subtopic for your, based on the theory you use. And then same, evidence, explain, discuss, evidence, discuss, evidence, discuss. Okay, I will delete this one so that you won't be confused. And then same goes with the rest of the based on theory. Remember, if you want to have a research paper, qualitative especially, you must have a theory. Okay, for articles, my advice to you, use only one theory. Do not use like, just because your thesis, you were saying that, but Prof, my thesis, I have like 3 theories. I don't know why, but I love to have 3 theories. But do I need to include all the 3 theories in your article? No. You choose only one, because the thing is that in the article, it's just a small component of your thesis. Unless you already passed your viva, you already have it documented, it's already bound, and then you can have it into a few articles. It's fine. Okay, finish with this. And then you have summary of results. Summary of results, what do you have in here? Whereas you already explained everything in there. What do you have in here? So now here, the summary, you must have what? You summarize everything. Summarize all the 3 objectives, all the 3, how do you say, from the 3 theories. You summarize everything. And then you have to support with references from your lit review just now on top. Whatever references you have there, support. Because remember, whatever you have in the literature just now is related to your study. So it's okay to support. But you have to mention in what way, support in what way. Which one? Related or parallel. Remember the word just now that I gave you about the critical thing? Use that one. Parallel to the study. Similar to the study with or dissimilar or whatever. The words that I gave you just now for critical writing. Support. And also make sure to support with the theory that you have chosen. In what way? So you mentioned in what way. All this summary of the result will be only in one paragraph. One paragraph is enough but make sure here you must have all the names there. Whatever you have the names up there, put it in there. If you feel that it's similar to only 4 studies, it's fine. If you don't need to put all 16, don't put all 16 because maybe some of it is not related to your study or is it just a small component. Because this thing is the summary of the result is actually you put the summary of everything that be in sentences. From that sentences that you summarize, you refer, you support with the references from your literature review. All right, what do you have in your conclusion? One conclusion is only one paragraph. Do not write more. And also in conclusion, there will be no references. Do not write any references at all in conclusion because you already put here in summary of the results. Do not put any because conclude is like, yeah, it's conclusion. That's it. So what do you have here in conclusion? Benefit. This study benefit for who? For teachers, for education system, for parents, for what? So give benefit because if you don't have any benefit, or what is it for? What is it for? What's the point of you carrying out this research if there's no benefit at all? So when you mention that it's for school students, okay, primary school students, okay, which way? So when you say benefit only, remember just now. Remember you summarize the result. You mentioned the primary school student in terms of what? So you mentioned in terms of understanding of values and blah blah and culture. What? So make sure relate back to your study, the title, and also mention what is it. So if for this benefit, try to write at least minimum of 3 benefits. How many? What I mean is maybe one for primary school students, and then another one is for Ministry of Education. Maybe another one for what? Teachers. This is example. So, but every time when you mention, you have to mention in what way, benefits in what way. But the benefit would be related to whatever results that you obtain. Result. Okay, done with this. 1 paragraph only. Do not write until 2 paragraphs because you actually conclude everything. References. Okay, this is important. Minimum 20. All right. And then, why is this? Minimum 20. 5 years back. 70%. How do you do that? So let's say if 20, do you have a calculator with you? If you have 20 references, if 70% from 20 references, how many references would be 5 years back? Okay, I forgot about Mama. How do you calculate? Dr. Alia, are you there? Help. How do you calculate? 20?
14.
14. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. So 5 years back equals to
14 references.
14, right?
Yes.
14 references must 14 references. And also from the 14, you must have at least minimum of 3 references. References, like for example 2021. This date, that means this particular year must have at least 3 from this year. Okay. And also please use APA style because most journals they would prefer APA styles. Make sure you write it accordingly. And also, besides that, you can have, actually, this is actually not advisable, but usually I would do it because, you know, I have to self-reference myself, because, you know, I've been doing like language, literature, and communication articles, and then I have to refer to self-reference. So refer to my article, the latest as well. It can, but do not have so many. Usually I can like maybe minimum of 3. Okay, that's it in the references. Minimum 20. Yeah, by the way, do not write more. So we can have like minimum and maximum. Maximum shouldn't be a lot. You know why? This is only an article. It shouldn't be a lot, because if a lot is like us as reviewers, we will say that it's really ridiculous. Why do you have so many references? It's only in an article, and then you're like, we want to find your data. We want to know your research. It's not like you are doing all this literature review unless it is a concept paper. Concept paper is fine. You have like how many? It doesn't matter. Okay, and then number of words. Oh, sorry. Number of words for normal article, for normal journals, that would be like non-citation journals. Non-citation usually is about minimum of 5 to 5. This is non-citation index journal. But for CIJ, usually it minimum 5,500 to maybe 7,000 is actually up to the journal. But okay, this is actually for both the numbers of words will be excluding references, excluding. And some journals would say excluding references and abstract. So it's only the journal itself. So make sure we do word count. It's easier that way. For first timer, for students, if you have this number of words, why not you just try send it to CIJ, Citation Index Journal. I know it's difficult, the one that I said that my article been published for 2 years, but just try your luck, because once it's published, you can actually, frankly speaking, you can print it out, stick it on the wall. You should be proud of yourself. My articles is already on the wall, wall of fame. And then you put frame in it and you show to your parents, the neighbors, neighbors, that you already published a lot of articles. So this is something that you should be really, really proud of, because it's your own publication, it's your own writing. It seems that IUKL has their own journal. So you can also, the students, you can also publish there. We have so many online access journal. Like I said, online access journal, we have a lot, and most of it is free. But the thing is that now the most of it free is no more free. It's paid. You have to pay. Even UPM you have to pay what, like 1,000 something. UKM previously it's free. Now you have to pay. Still, nothing is free, right? So there are so many articles you can send. Maybe next week I can, when you finish half of the article, or you want to show it to me, because next week you're gonna show me and I will give comments. And then help to suggest which article you're supposed to send. Okay, and then I will also explain to you what's the meaning of non-CIJ and CIJ. And then what's the meaning of H-index and Google Scholar. I'm sure you can check your name in Google Scholar, how many H-index you have. Because in Google Scholar only for most of the, all the articles that you publish is open access. The meaning to say is in the internet. My articles, frankly speaking, I tell you the truth, okay, that not all journals I submitted got accepted. Most of it, not most of it. Sometimes I submitted, they got rejected 2 hours later. I don't know how they read that fast. 2 hours later, I feel that machine reading it or what. And then this one article I sent to like 3 to 4 journals, all got rejected. Lastly, the 5th journal got accepted. And that 5th article is really CIJ, very high impact. And the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 3, 4 is not that high impact. Is that effect? Although it's CIJ, but not high impact. So it actually depends on your because my journal sometimes maybe I did not really read the instruction that they have theme in the journal. So I did not follow the theme. When I don't follow the theme, of course it's being rejected. Even I tried to send it to IUKL journal. I got because when I sent to the IUKL journal, actually I've written it like long time ago, so I did not update the literature review. It's my fault. You just imagine me teaching how to write journal, and in fact I wrote like I did not check whether it's like updated or not. So my IUKL did send it back to me saying that please give extra literature review which is updated date like 2000 and something whatnot. I accepted that one because it's my fault. It's my fault really, because I'm not perfect. Not everybody is not perfect. Although I already published like nearly 200 article journals, but I'm not perfect. It's being rejected so many times. Even now, I got rejected like how many days ago or last year in December I got rejected. So no more cries, because no crying for me because I've been crying like, oh gosh, why I got rejected? I thought I'm a professor. They have to accept mine. Of course, they don't know who am I, right? It's because my writing. It's because whatever I write is not up to their standard or their theme of the journal. I think that's all. Can I open for question session?
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, thank you so much, Prof. What inspiring lecture. So detailed. I just wanted to keep on listening to you on and on and on. Yeah. So they always say that. They always tell us that 15 minutes with a professor is worth 15 years in the library. I think you can see and you can get from the talk which we have just been given by Prof on how to publish, how to write publishable materials. I really want to thank you so much, Prof, for your presentation. Yes, as Prof has said, the floor is now open for some questions. If you have some question, then you can unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and then you can just ask Prof. I have a few questions for Prof from the discussion here. Maybe while we are waiting for the audience to come in, we can go back to some of the questions. Right. Okay. So.
Vivian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Dr. Normaliza. I really want to say thank you and really appreciate it because you are very detailed to telling us how to do articles. And I have the first question is when you talk about the summary part have the reference, but I have a question. Normally we are informed that in the summary part, the conclusion part, we shouldn't have the reference to, because I a little bit confused this part.
Okay. Yeah, very good question. Thank you, Vivian. Okay, you've been told that do not write any references in summary of results, but then it's like this. It depends. It actually depends on the journal, because so far, some of the authors, they have written the support the references in here, in the results and discussion, right? So that's why they don't put it in here. But this one is actually for us reviewers. We found it easier for us to see whether because you just imagine us reviewer, we read, okay, everything here in your results and discussion, blah 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 blah. You can have, like just now, you can have it here for every objective. You can also support with references, and for this one you can support with references. This one will support with references. But the thing is that okay, it depends on the journal, because for us reviewers, if you look at here, if you do it this way, if you don't put the references here, you put the references there, it seems it's going to be redundant. Some of it, like you remember here, you have three just now. One is content, some of the results here is nearly the same. Maybe it's nearly the same, maybe. And then when you refer, it's going to be the same, like you are repeating the references again and again here and again on top. So you're repeating. So it's going to be redundant. And then when you want to explain again, let's say support, just now I said you want to support here. Okay, let's say if you don't put here, you put it here. You support the study from Normaliza Rahim 2019, where the students seem to be blah, 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 blah. Whereas you already mentioned about that study here, in this study, in this result. You already mentioned it there. So it seems to be redundant. So we are actually trying to avoid, but it can be done. But except that you make sure that it's not like repeating the sentence for that reference from, it's not like you copy paste from top and put it at the bottom. So that's why if you have it here, you're actually summarizing. That's why you have in your thesis, remember in your thesis, you have summary of results for each objective, isn't it? So summary and then you support. So that is being concluded in one paragraph. Easier that way for us reviewer to see that, and it's not redundant. It's not like repeating every time why you want to explain about the studies that you support. It's like repeating again and again and again. But there were two ways. It can be accepted as well. If you feel that it can be accepted, but what's the point of you summarizing here? If let's say you have your summary result, you summarize without any reference. You must have at least reference. So you can have both ways. You can have on top, but if you have the names on top, references on the results and discussion, in the summary of results, if you don't have it, it seems that it's hanging. It seems like your results of the study is not based on any done before. So it's wise to think whether that article, that how do you say, that journal accept that way or this way. It can be done. Let's say just now, if you say that you want to support with the theory, you cannot put anything here in the result. So every time when you have your here, when you have your result of the study, every time you have to support with the theory. So you are actually repeating again and again the same thing. So it cannot be, it cannot like, it's not professional that way. Good question. Good question. But anyway, can I read the question from here, Dr. Alicia?
Yes, we have two questions. I have 3 questions in the charter. So maybe I can read for you, Prof. The first question is from Veena Sashikat. She is asking, dear Prof, does the title need to be specific, or is it okay if if it is a little more general? That is the first question in the chart. And then the second one, maybe you can tackle the questions together. The second one is from Akif. Akif is saying, dear Prof, what is the right English grammar when we write an article? Okay. So those are the 2 questions for now. We have another one, maybe after this, then I will pass the 3rd question to you.
Okay, just now you said that the article is from Veena. Does the title need to be specific, or is it okay if it's little more general? No, it cannot be general, because like I said just now, you have make sure there will be variable in your title. So it's like focus on the variable for your, because the variable will reflect your objective of the study, reflect also with your the data that you're going to get. So be specific, cannot be general, because if you put general, even readers, they want to find your article, they cannot find it because it's too general. Okay, a good one, good question. And then the next one from Akif, what is the right English grammar when we write an article? Okay, frankly speaking, you have to check the article first. Is it from the UK or is it from the US? If the US, you have to go for American English, because it's actually different. For example, the word favor, F-A-V-O-R, and the other one is F-A-V-O-U-R. So it depends on the article actually. Look at the journal, is it from the USA or is it from the UK? Okay, good question, well done. Okay.
There is another one, Prof, from Achut in Nepal. Achut is asking, dear Prof, regarding chronological sequence of reference, is the backward order is mandatory, or can I apply forward as well if I find 2017 article more relevant and I like to mention it first? Also, could you please say something about the sequence for landmark papers related to my topic? Where should I cite that? At first or at the backward order as usual?
Okay, it's regarding the chronology sequence of reference. Is the backward order is mandatory? It is mandatory. It is mandatory because it will make sure that your article is really the updated one, and everybody wants to refer to your article. In fact, it's the same thing as your thesis. The thesis is also the same, whereby make sure that 70% of your articles in your bibliography would be 5 years back. Meaning 5 years back is the date that you submit your thesis. 2021 meaning go back 2021. And also it's quality, it's based on quality. And then here the question is the backward mandatory? Yes. Can I apply forward as if I find 2019 more relevant? And you say that, I don't understand this one. Is it like you are mentioning like 2017 you mentioned first? Actually, whatever you mentioned, it doesn't matter. As long as it's 5 years back. It doesn't matter. But then you have to calculate in such a way that, but remember that I said, in introduction, there will be background of the study. It doesn't matter. You can have more than 5 years back. But in literature review, you must have 5 years back. You just imagine, okay, articles for COVID, for example, it has been published last year, 2020. That's like what? Loads and loads of it. In fact, this year also like, if you type Google, there goes like thousands and thousands of articles. So it has to be 5 years back. There's no COVID pandemic, like 2019, maybe. 2018, there's none, but there's another like COVID, different COVID. So that's what that one you can only refer for 2 years. Okay. And then I don't know whether I answer your question. Also, could you please say something about the sequence for the landmark papers related to my topic? Where should I cite that landmark, master? I know landmark. What is it that you want to find? What is it? At first or the backward order as usual? Dr. Elisha, I don't understand this one.
Yeah, I think it is more specific to his research, which we do not know what he is talking about. But I think you have addressed the major part of his question, which is quite general and well put forward. Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Prof. We have another student coming in right now. Which better writing passive or active or mixed? I think this candidate is asking, Otman from UPM is asking, which one is the better writing style? Passive style or active style or mixed style, passive and active? Yes.
Okay, good question, Otman from UPM. Which better writing, passive or active or mixed? Okay, you have to make sure that you be consistent. Okay, I forgot to show you this one. Okay, hold on. Okay, your writing should be very high quality. Okay, in order to have a very good writing, you have to focus on academic writing. So that's why you were saying about the passive writing or what kind of writing. You focus on academic writing. That's why I know most of you already attended academic writing. I'm sure all the teachers, all the lecturers and professors, they know about the academic writing. You have to use discourse markers in order for you to make sure that the sentence it goes to academic writing. It's that academic writing having discourse markers is actually having advanced writing. Advanced is really high standard. So that's why you have to use discourse markers. But make sure not every sentence you have to include discourse markers. There are words or expressions that link, manage to help to organize sentences. They connect what is written. They make no change in the meaning. They're also often called linking words or sometimes fillers. It's formal writing more towards academic writing. If let's say you write, Othman, if you write something and it's like you did not put any discourse markers, so that's why we as examiners or reviewers, we don't really know what is this paper like. This, you are just like telling stories, or is it like, because we don't know whether it's a formal or informal writing. So include the discourse markers. There's a lot of discourse markers. I will show you. Okay, this one. They are actually for edit, for showing cause and effect, for sequencing, for comparing. These all. And then these are the words. There are a lot more. These are examples I give you. Don't worry, I will give it to you. My advice to the students and also to the lecturers, because I did it myself, print it. Okay, again, laminate, stick it on the wall. Because whenever you write your article, journals, look at the wall and say, oh, I haven't used that word and it's related to this sentence. Use it, put it there. And you know what? At the end of the day, the article is so academic and it goes to a very advanced writing. That is really good. Because you know all these words. You look at it, some of you just forgot totally when or how to use this word. You straight away put in like a normal sentence without having all these discourse markers. It's not a good idea. So might as well put which one is appropriate, which one is usable. Make sure, because you just imagine, for emphasizing, for example, and then you have your conclusion word. You can use this in conclusion, finally, to sum up, in the end, lastly, in short, eventually. Okay, so if you don't use this word, you straight away, for example, just now remember the conclusion in your article, you straight away put, okay, this study, the results of the study, the result of the study benefits students from blah, 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 blah. And then without any first emphasizing word, you can put in conclusion, blah, 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 blah. See, there's a difference in academic writing. It makes a difference. It's totally make a difference if you put discourse markers. So my advice to you, remember, print, laminate, stick it on the wall, stick it on the wall. It doesn't matter, there's so many things, because you are working. When you're working, you look on the wall, okay, I'm using that one. Okay, just now the critical for the literature review has to be critical. Okay, I'm going to use that one. Use it, so that the article going to be very high standard, very high quality, and then the article will not be rejected. They will accept your article. Okay, there's a question here, right?
Yeah, wonderful. Yes. Maybe Prof. We take two more questions in one shot before we close. Time is always our enemy. So the first one is from Dr. Nora. Our own Dr. Nora is asking, what if the journal didn't reply positive or negative for more than 3 months? Should I double submit, which is not ethical, or what to do? That is from Dr. Nora. And then the second one is from our own Mr. Abraham. He is asking, he's saying, thanks, Prof, for your presentation. Concerning the summary and conclusion, some of the researchers advise to relate the research objective with the conclusion. But according to your presentation, the summary contains the result and relation with respect to the literature review. So what do you think to avoid the repetition or redundancy? Okay, maybe you can tackle those last two questions, Prof, before we close the session.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Elisha. As for Dr. Nora's question, yeah, I've come across this situation myself. It's like we submitted the journal, and after that, click for 3 months, nothing happened. And then I waited for another 3 months, 6 months, click, nothing happened. That's what happened to my article in Botanica. After 1 year, still nothing happened. But then, actually, frankly speaking, I forgot about that paper. Luckily, I did not send it to some to other journals. That happens to me as well. There's another article whereby I submitted and then nothing happened, no news, and I submitted the same article to the other journal. Suddenly, this article accepted. What am I gonna do? Or sometimes it's like both article accepted. Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. Okay, what you can do is that I know it's unethical. No, it's not unethical actually. It's the journal who did the wrong thing. They should have, replied saying that the process will take about 6 to 12 months because Botanica did it. Because Botanica did mention like 6 to 12 months, and yeah, they did in 1 year. Okay, so you can have both, accepted, but you can email them saying that I have to take back my article due to blah 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 circumstances and whatnot, and then you submit it to this one. And then actually the unethical thing is actually based on because there are cases whereby they only change the title. What I mean is this person is actually change the title, change a little bit of the abstract, change a little bit of the literature review and introduction, but the data for result discussion is the same and published in 2 different journals with 2 different titles. It's unethical, but the thing is that it actually depends, because maybe the reason being is that it's up to the person actually. I know it's unethical, but then actually it's up to the individual. You can actually get it back and just publish one, and then just get the new data. As a literature review, just replace everything. Shouldn't be any problem. Okay, I hope that answers the question for Dr. Nura. And then for Abraham, you mentioned about the your concern about the summary and conclusion, advice to relate. Remember the summary just now, I said this: when you summarize the summary, you are summarizing the results and discussion. The results and discussion is actually based on the objective. So that's why you put it in the subtopic according to the identify. Just now I said you identify according to the based on the theory, and then you identify based on the topic. So that means that would be based on the theory. So the results of the study is actually based on the objective, but you also support with the studies done in the literature review. When you support the studies done by the literature review, it's actually the literature review that you have chosen, and most of the literature review you have chosen is actually related to the study. If not, you don't choose that literature review. So I hope you understand that one. And you were saying that it contains the result relation with respect to the literature. So what do you think to avoid the repetition or redundancy? So that's why I said to avoid the redundancy and the repetition, my advice to you, but that it depends on the journal. My advice to you, you have a different subtopic for the summary in such a way that when you summarize, you also mention about the results of the study, which reflect the objective. And you also, because you have still got the support from the studies that you mentioned in chapter 2, in a literature review, you have to. Because if you don't support, if it's on its own without any supporting literature, so there's no quality in your research. You have to support no matter what. Okay,
Yes.
I hope that answers the question.
Yes.
Thank you.
Dr. Elisha, there's one here. If permissible to include English phrases in biotechnology research title, I will do example better late than never, because I think this one, yeah, you can. You know what? It's something catchy. You can. I have an article that I wrote before. It's like to read or not to read. You know, the Shakespeare to something or not to something. I put it there on my title. And then it seems that I have a lot of references from there because of the catchy title. Although your what do you call that? Your title is more on biotechnology research, it's fine. That's how your creativity in order to get attention from readers to read your title. And after that, like for example, you say that what is that? Better late than never, and then you put 2 dots, colon or semicolon, and you put in the title biotechnology blah blah. Why not? That is very catchy. I think is it okay?
Prof.
Good idea to change a bit, then send to other journals.
Okay. All right, Prof. Sorry, this is Viviana. I would like to apologize because some of us are leaving for pre-arranged commitments, 12 o'clock. Prof is coming back next week.
Prof, I just want to say one situation in China. Now, China, the university, because most of us from China, we work in the university, and the university asking us if we are in the PhD level, we should publish in the SCI level. So I want to ask if Malaysia have any journal is in that standard, or do you have any recommendation to us if we want to publish in the high level the journals, not only the Malaysians, the conference, most of the university, they will write on that.
Okay, thank you, Vivian. Actually, that one I want to present it next week. The types of journal that will be the Scopus, SSCI, Emerging SSCI, everything I want to discuss about you next week. Yes, but I also will suggest to you all the journals that you can publish. But bear in mind, like I said, it's going to take a long time to publish. But at least you try. And I just want to ask you, Vivian, what course are you?
PhD in education. I focused on entrepreneur education.
Education, yeah. I think we have a number of education journals. And for SSCI, that one is actually you can also try for a social science journal, because social science journal they have like quite a number with SSCI. But next week I will try to list it out, and then I will give you the tips on how to publish in SSCI. Frankly speaking, I have only less than 10 articles published in SSCI. And also, frankly speaking, when I published SSCI, UPM gave me like a award in terms of money. Not that much, but actually that money is to pay the fees. That's bad. They should have given. But previously, if you publish one SSCI, previously before my time, they give you like 25,000 ringgit for one SSCI, a reward. But nowadays, no money. So,
our university will reward that. Most of the China State University, they will reward that. So that's why I'm asking for them. Thank you so much, Prof. We love you. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Vivian, make sure the university reward the supervisors as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, isn't it? Because they supervise your thesis,
we can share. We can share.
All right. Okay.
With the professor here.
Okay. All right. Okay, Prof. From the comments which are coming in the comment section, you are now officially declared as hot property in IUKL. Everyone is asking you to come back again and again and again and again. And the good information for all the participants who are here now is Prof will be back not very far. You just have to wait for 6 more days. On the 7th day next week, Prof will be back to give us the second part of this series of lectures. And according to the demand, Prof, you might be coming back to series 3, 4, 5, 6 until I don't know, because everyone has totally enjoyed what you have presented to us today. And we really appreciate your presentation, your sharing, which is quite clear, very useful. Yes, Prof.
I forgot to mention it to you that hopefully all the participants here try to write something. Okay, try to something so that you can show it to me next week on the next session. In such a way that I can really comment, and so you can get the idea on how to write a very good article. But for the lecturers here in this session and the professors here, I don't think you have any problem with it. So I'm a bit embarrassed to ask you to write, but you better write. Thank you, Dr. Nora, for your thumbs up. Thank you, Dr. Is it Dr. Haslina just now with the love? And then yes. I think we better try something. If I can do it, I think Professor Farida and Prof. Mazia also, they can write. With one sitting, 2 hours, we can finish in an article, full article in 2 hours. You can do it too. But you have 1 week to finish it. So you have a lot of time. And Siti Farah, thank you for the love just now.
Yes, Prof. Everyone is throwing loves, likes, and demands that you have to come back. And we all love you, Prof. Thank you so much for the wonderful, insightful presentation. You have said that you might be a little bit going soft on us, on asking us to share our writings with you. I was just going to tell you that maybe I will share my article with you, and then you can give me your good advice. We are all learning. And as I said before, 15 minutes with a professor for me is 15 years in the library. Because this is,
thank you. I've been reviewing articles from engineering, science, whatnot. No worries. Because really the same content, although I have to do homework, I have to research a little bit what it means, but at least I know the style of writing is there and the content is there.
Wonderful. Okay, so we don't want to take much of your time. We've stolen 10 minutes from you already, and the audience who are here. I would like to remind the audience to please register for attendance, because some of the videos and the materials which have been used will be shared with the participants who with us now. So please share with us your email address in the registration link which has been provided there. Those who are from China who cannot access the link from China and other parts of the world, please drop your email address in the chat box, then we can compile and email back to you. Again, I don't want to say goodbye, Prof, because we will be with you next week. I just want to say, have a wonderful week ahead. See you next week, and thank you so very much for the wonderful presentation. We all love you so much. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
We leave now. Okay, bye.
Okay, all right, okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Bye.